So this rabbi in this paper goes on. He says, mistranslating verses referring to Jesus. Biblical verses can only be understood by studying the original Hebrew text, which reveals many discrepancies in the Christian translation. We've talked about Isaiah 7:14 before, but let's bring it up again. He says, the Christian idea of a virgin birth is derived from the verse in Isaiah 7:14 describing an Alma as given birth. The word Alma has always meant a young woman, but Christian theologians came centuries later and translated it as virgin. This accords Jesus' birth with the first century pagan idea of mortals being impregnated by gods. This, once again, is simply not the case. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, this guy either is ignorant or he's being deliberately deceptive here.
Isn't the final mem in the isn't the non-final mem used in this passage in Isaiah 7:14, or is it a different passage?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's this passage. So there's for those who might not know, and I'm going to try to explain this without for those who don't know any Hebrew at all. There's a letter called a mem in Hebrew, and it's closed. It kind of looks like a square circle almost. I don't know a better way to describe it. And then there's a final mem as well, which means that if this letter is used as the final letter on a word, then it changes form, okay? And becomes a final mem, and it doesn't look anything like a square letter. In fact, yeah. And so in this verse in Isaiah 7:14, the regular mem is put as the final letter. It's the only place in the Torah where it's used as where a regular mem is used as a final mem instead. Interestingly enough, the regular mem is closed all the way around, whereas the final mem is not. And the rabbinic commentary on this has said that the reason that it's closed is because the woman who gives birth to the Messiah will be a virgin. Her womb will be closed instead of opened. And so they've said that could either be a virgin or a woman who's beyond the years of childbirth. So even in that, this rabbi is not being honest. But Alma can also mean virgin, can it not?
Yeah. Well, and the big thing that he's the wording here, he says, but Christian theologians came centuries later and translated it as virgin. This is not true. The Greek translation that translates Alma as Parthenos precedes the first century by at least 200 years. So, and it was the tradition is that it was Jewish priests who translated it into Greek. So this idea that Christians later came and did this is
nonsense,
disingenuous at best, and totally deceitful at worst.